Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be transplanting a Cymbidium. It is in dire need of repotting. This one has never been done before. It was purchased a couple of years ago, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what's in there right now, how the roots look and everything like that. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you the mix I'm going to use to repot it. We're going to take it out of this pot, see what the roots are like, assess that, mix it in with probably a little bit bigger pot, mix it in with the new potting mix, and repot it. Alright, so for repotting Cymbidiums, we have to remember that Cymbidiums are actually a terrestrial orchid. They do live in the ground, not in the trees. So what I've got is a mixture of coconut bark, some sphagnum moss, fir bark. This is perlite, and I'm going to try something new this time, and I'm going to use just a little bit of moistened peat moss as well, just to give it a little bit finer grade of media. Or normally I could use other stuff like a little bits of lava rock, charcoal if I had it, but I think for now I'm just going to use this mix here and try it out and see how it goes. We still want the mix to be airy. You don't want it to pack down. So I'm just going to chop up this sphagnum moss a little bit. And then just mix it all together. And with the addition of the peat moss in there, I think it's a fairly suitable terrestrial mix. So that is what my mix is going to look like for the Cymbidium. Okay, now as for the Cymbidium itself, this one here, what we're going to do is just try to loosen the pot a little bit. It feels really root bound. It has been a couple of years since I've owned this, so you just want to jiggle it a little bit loose, and that is what Cymbidium roots look like. Now this is in just what looks like a terrestrial peat moss with a little bit of bark, a little bit of perlite. So we're going to put it in something very similar. I think what I'm going to do, since there is so many roots here, I am going to certainly upgrade the pot a little bit. Once we're done this, I will go behind the greenhouse and find something suitable. If the roots get damaged a little bit while you're doing this, that's okay. They will grow back. It's definitely very packed in here. So we want to knead these loose a little bit. And we're just going to keep working away, slowly loosening everything up. Just packed tight. So, give everything a bit of a loosen here. Now I will say, they're very healthy roots. The media is almost gone from in here. There's hardly anything left. It's funny how you start with full media, and then a couple years later it's full roots and not much media is actually left in there. So anyways, I'm going to finish this up and find a pot, so I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. I took some time and cleaned up some of this a little bit, removed as much potting mix as I could. So the good news for me is I don't have much in the way of dead roots. A dead root is going to be like this one here. There's going to be a little almost string down the middle of it, and it's going to pull apart very easily. It's going to feel very hollow. It's light and papery almost. So what I'm going to do is just take a pair of scissors. I sterilize these with alcohol before I cut any orchids. And I'm just going to cut that root off. So you can see that's what a dead root looks like there. And it just pull apart. Now these are all thick roots. They're healthy. They feel almost like a thick linguine or fettuccine noodle. There's some definite substance to them, as opposed to this one here, which there's not any substance to at all. So I will just throw away that one root. These are, or this is the new pot I'm going to use. So you can see the size difference there. It's just one size up, just a little bit bigger. Now we already prepared the mix, so that makes it easy. I'm going to throw some mix in the bottom here, just like so. Now you always want to do this in the springtime, just after they finish flowering. This is new growth here. I hope you guys can see that. There's a few spots of new growth around. This one's a new growth here, and there's another new growth over here. So once those in a few months get a little bit more mature, they're going to send down their own new roots. So you want them to be in the new media before the new bulbs start sending down their new roots. And it'll just make for an overall healthier plant. So I put a little bit of media in the bottom. Make sure it sits flush with the pot. If you have excess amount of roots, what you can do is actually hold the orchid still and just turn the pot like this. And that'll get some of the roots in. Or just turn the orchid and hold the pot still. Either way, just by giving it a quick spin, you'll get most of the roots tucked in there. And then we just want to backfill a little bit at a time. I always work on trays so that when I backfill with the mix, it doesn't all get completely lost. I think the addition of this little bit of peat is actually going to work out really well. I'm happy with giving that a try. So we'll do that. Fill that up like so. And there we go. So there is the Cymbidium repotted. Got some new mix in. The new roots will come out of here and head down into the mix. As you can see, it gives it a little bit more room. Okay, now that the mix is in place, just want to give it a little tap or a bang like this. And what that's going to do is just knock the mix down in between all the roots. When you're doing this, you don't want the mix to be too wet, or else it's not going to move as much. I prefer to work with just a semi-moistened mix. In this case, the peat moss that I used was already wet, because peat moss is really hard to get wet from a dry stage. And then you can see we can just add a bit more. The moss was also a little bit wet to start with, but the bark and the coconut husks were dry. So there we go. Just collect a little bit that's left and throw in there. And there we have it. So again, this mix is going to be a bark, a perlite, a sphagnum moss, and a peat moss mix. So it is nice and light and fluffy, and we want to make sure we keep it that way. It's a good thing I didn't make any less mix, because it just needs to be topped up a little. I think after I'm done shooting here, I might just make a little bit more and put on the top there. But anyways, guys, it's light, it's fluffy. Now I'm going to give it a good water. Some people say not to water your orchids after you transplant them. I like to give them a water anyways. I've never had any problems that way. I find by watering them, it's going to just tighten the mix up a little bit and hold the orchid, in this case the Cymbidium, just a little bit firmer in the pot. And there we have it. That, in under 10 minutes, is how we repot a Cymbidium orchid. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching.